I can live with the fact that we were a little bit delayed getting started because, hey, look, they address an exploit that teams could have taken advantage of, and I want to see the best possible Counter-Strike in the fairest possible way. So,
well, you've come to the right place, Matthew. The Majors usually does have some pretty good Counter-Strike, and hopefully we can get underway right now. Avangar versus Renegades. The inaugural game here at the Major will be Avangar. A slight disadvantage, I guess, starting on the T side here. It's not favoured for sure. As we get into things, we'll have a look at the buy. One smoke, one flashbang, and you can see most of the players making their way towards the inside area. Could be a smoke down lower ramp or one towards connector, but we can see a player in the form of Jake ready to frag at that upper ramp, and he's pretty good at that USB. We'll see if we can find the headshots here.
Yeah, the off angle playing in the corner, so he does have to cross over to try and get away. That means he's spotted, but he fires early and uses the movement mechanics of pistols to his advantage. Finds the headshot on Crizin. So, opening pick in the opening round for the Major on both these teams goes to Renegades.
Looked like a bit of a wild bullet there. Not necessarily the player he was aiming at, as he was moving while firing, but still, he gets that opening pick, and that's exactly what he wanted. That's going to push them back towards outside. Kikert's still there with the smoke and flashbang. You can see 3 CTs ready to rock and roll towards outside, and there's still plenty of time on the clock here. CS seems known for their slower pace T-side gameplay. As we see Buster and co head towards the Ivy position. At this point, it does look like they'll head towards outside, probably a smoke towards the left-hand side of Ivy, head out towards the sunny side and have one player just holding inside for any rotations, anyone flanking towards the pop dog. That'll be Kukert, as it will be now Liaz holding towards the Ivy, but he takes his vision away at the worst possible time. Buster does get towards the end of the Ivy with the PT-50 and a smoke down as well. Liaz loses vision, and where do they go from here?
Liaz trying to find someone through the smoke, adds the advantage, down to 26 seconds. Gratisfaction finds Buster, just saw enough of him through the ladder, at the top of the ladder, I should say. The edge of the smoke, Liaz does get Fitch. This is impressive from Renegades. No one even losing any health at this point in time. No damage, that changes. As soon as I say anything, it does, but Liaz is able to collect, and that's a solid round. They didn't overcommit, they got the advantage, they allowed them to fall back, no problem. They played it as they should.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all down to JKS, just shoving them towards outside there. That initial kill, I feel like that doesn't come in. If JKS spots them, they might still commit towards the inside area. Try and get that plant down. All the teams do focus on the inside area for the pistol rounds because you are almost guaranteed the bomb plant. Much more difficult to get it down outside because it's an open area. You need more smokes, more utility in general, just to get near the bomb site. So we should see the full eco here from Avangar with no bomb being planted, and indeed just PT-50s and some Glocks. We have got Fitch and the Deagle, so he's investing a little bit more, as we'll see if they can do any damage here in round number 2. I doubt it. To be honest, we'll see if there's anything that can be done. If Renegades are smart, they just want to keep these rifles up. You can see they focus on firepower completely. A lot of teams, especially in CSGO in today's game, they'll get the MP5s out, they'll get MP9s, all that sort of stuff. They want to challenge those AKs in the 3rd round and actually be viable to win it and get a 3-0 on the board. As if you come into with the 3rd round with UMPs, a shotgun, something like that, you're going to be at a disadvantage. So right now they have 5 rifles and they want to have all the utilities. They need a nice clean round here, and that's a great start. Liaz will take down Fitch, and you can see they don't have to overcommit, just need to get that information, just need to hold them back, and when they feel like they're under pressure, just make sure they go into those crossfires here. Jake can maybe towing the line between aggression and discipline. They will see whether he can stay alive. He cannot, and he'll go down first, but Liaz fighting back there.
Og's already out, so we'll see a lot of them at this Major. I do agree with the sentiment on the desk that you either adapt or you're going to have to deal with the consequences. Liaz, that was a very impressive shot to Jame, not using the scope. Quickly back out of position, and he collects. Ace for him as well. Only the 2nd round, and we've already got an ace in the Major. Liaz, the one to do it, the new man, the new blood, who's got quite a following in Australia, according to the chat and the boys on the desk. But just to go back, you know, guys like Scream, who are always tweeting out about it or putting it on social media that they hate the AUG. You know what? It's time to accept it. This gun is extremely powerful.
It absolutely is, and with the price reduction, you're going to see a lot of it at this Major, and I'm excited for it to see what teams have kind of developed with the AUG, and maybe they've changed some of their setups, and they could be a little bit more aggressive at the start of each round and go for those picks, and maybe just round 1, or who knows, as we get into that gun round, it is going to be Jame with the wallbang that lands. It obviously hits Gratisfaction for a couple of walls there, takes it down to 84, but it's Azza fighting tooth and nail against Fitch with a quick solo play down towards a pop dog that gives away his life. And Matt, they've got 2 smokes here and a 5-on-4. They have to come in and try and get a pick back here.
One smoke deployed by the CTs just now, and they will commit. They're going to go through before that defensive utility can be put in place. Buster finds JKS. Back to a 4-on-4 bomb to be planted as well. First time they've had it down. Faction on the AWP tries to find the shot toward the backside of the B-bomb, but watch Buster because he's pushed up. Flash out, Dame has no problems finding Faction peeking off that. And it's going to be a difficult battle for Renegades. Finally, they've got to retake a site. They've lost control, and desperate through the smoke, Liaz will fire a few shots. Buster could go down on this because from the hitch, Azza slides out on his right. Don't think he was fully aware of the fact that they'd rotated back through CT instead. But it's Kicker to watch Azza, and it's going to be, yeah, exactly this. Call the save. Time's pretty much gone. You've got the advantage still. Money's going to be very narrow if you overcommit, so keep what you've got and fight in the next round.
Well, there we go. avangar, like we said, no utility really. They certainly had the AKs and the AWP of Jame. He hits that wallbang to kick things off, but no kill. Wasn't really that significant towards the end of the round. But they knew after losing that pick, something had to be done. They got quite fortunate on the timings there. The moment they go down the lower ramp is when JKS actually takes his vision away from the area. He's solo anchored towards the B bomb sites. He's got to be patrolling between the upper and the lower area. It looks towards upper for a split second. They've already made their way through. They hit that shot, and once the bomb's down and James set up with the AWP, it's very difficult to retake there. We saw the flashbang attempt, but when James was holding that specific angle, he can just dodge the flash, repeat, find the frag, and that was pretty much the round at that point. We are going to see the force spike come through from Renegades here as they try and maintain their lead. Currently 2-1, and now they'll have a couple of rifles, and the AWP still in the hands of Faction. Remember, we need him to step up here against the likes of James, as a lot of speculation as to whether he can perform at the top level. We know he has the potential to do it. I've seen it online. I just want to see it translate to a big tournament like this, and he can show us what he's made of.
So it is just going to be the CZ for the man who started off with an ace. Playing a passive shoulder peek to see when they commit to the hallway. Once them up close does spot and realizes it. Incendiary down, that'll subside the rush for now. Faction still watching out toward A main as well, covers off the other side, so they pretty much stifle avangar trying to go fast, which was the goal.
That's fine for avangar at this point. You still got a minute on the clock. You know they're forceful at this point. If they have incendiaries, you can assume that's the case. And they've baited a bit of utility out here. They've got control of Ivy per se. They've got towards the end of it at least. It looks likely to be the outside split with 3 players focusing on that Ivy position with the bomb, and Crizin just to try and take some attention away. But Azza inside the pop dog room once again. This time with an SMG, that's absolutely fine as they make potentially their final move. You can see Faction in the perfect position to shut this one down. But the smoke isn't ideal. They actually push past that, and he doesn't hit the shot.
Backs away though. Faction still trying to get an angle and any possibility, and the second smoke comes out. That gap gone means that it's going to be a lot more difficult still, so instead his attention's going on the bomb train. If he can catch them in transition with 20 seconds left, he might have a chance to stifle the round entirely, but also just win it on 1 kill alone. Instead, it's Fitch he finds, but bomb's already in position. Buster crossed, and now it's going to go 4-on-4. Nice bomb plant. Rock show. That's you on the guitar, actually. That's not in the game. That's just Henry beside Kit for JKS. We'll see if that comes into play.
Here we go then. Big retake about to go down. JKS does have the kit. You can see Azza there flanking towards T-Spawn, but time is of the essence now. So many kills to find, and they're dropping like flies as his flank is unsuccessful. JKS with the kit. We are going to find out who's getting near that bomb site, Matthew, as Faction doing everything he possibly can here. This is equal trades for now. The bomb's ticking away. They have to recover that defuse kit. It is picked up. Faction has got time to defuse if he gets on it right now, but I don't think that's going to happen. James done enough, and he will fall back with the AWP. So great attempt there. Faction with the 3 kills, the shots we're looking for, but unfortunately with the bomb planted and a kind of scrappy retake there, quite slow and segregated almost, the CTs can't get it done.
Tough decision right now as well, because if you'd saved the 4 last time, okay, fine, you keep guns up and you bring a little more to this round, but you allow the economy to establish on the T side. They did well to get 4 kills there.
Yep.
They limit them, so they still have a buy, certainly, but that's all they have in reserve. Do you force buy on top of this? Do you try and go around that single AWP and really break them down right now? Because again, that can come back to haunt you.
Well, the answer is yes, it seems. In these best of ones, it's quite a daunting procedure. The fact you've got to now go in knowing you've almost sabotaged your CT economy with these 4 spies, this round doesn't work out for you, you're in a really rough spot. avangar can find 5 on the board on the T side of train in a best of 1 in a brutal format very early on. We know they're going to exploit that opportunity as we get into round 5 here. Faction. You can see Liaz is still yet to die. He's 7-0 right now as they struggle to get back into this one. Faction still on the AWP, currently positioned right now at the Ivy area. Is he going to hit this shot? Absolutely. Fitch will be taken down, but that hasn't necessarily translated to success so far. They get these opening kills and inside will fall apart. But luckily, the CTs do have 2 players there this time. That's JKS and Azza with a UMP and a FAMAS. Can they hold them off?
AWP, not able to do much. Gratisfaction did find one on the op, so at least it goes 1 for 1 on the entry. Low HP for Buster as well. Jacob could capitalize on this, finds him. Headshot with the Deagle. It wouldn't have mattered the HP. It was a fantastic shot. James gets the response. That allows the plant, but in doing so, only having 2 players up, it opens up a passage, a rite of passage, that Azza certainly will seize upon, because around the corner forces Prison to the right, did the damage. Gratisfaction got him with the op, but still it was made easily as the communication and positioning was so solid. Oh, game! This is what we talked about. He finds 2, a chance to win it out. He's going to play up close. 19 HP. Time is his friend, but HP is not. Gratisfaction manages to pull it back with his fourth kill in the round.
Unbelievable scenes there. Jamie, it felt like that was enough. With the smoke there, he actually had time to maneuver and actually get them off the bomb, find those 2 quick kills, and Gratisfaction, 3 kills in the previous didn't work out for him. Now he gets 4. That seems to be enough. He's stepping up here, and he finds him a huge round. Like we said, if Renegades didn't win this particular round, they would be absolutely ruined financially. He opens up the fragging here towards Ivy, has the actual presence of mind to actually fall back towards inside. He knows he's pushing them back towards that bomb site, and it works out for them perfectly here. James keeps you up, but they do not force buy here. Avangar, no. They've got a decent situation here. On the T side, they don't have to keep force buying here. Maybe there was an option considering the reset potential of the CTs, but they've opted for a very passive approach.
But this goes back to the last round where they killed 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
If they hadn't done that in the last round and saved, you get the same result, but there's still a buy available to Avangar, so you're in a very different composition of the game. It's crazy how that little decision, that little outcome can dictate this whole half now. In an alternate universe, maybe they have guns again. Maybe Avangar wins here. Renegades get broken. Now it's Avangar's, turn to take the run. It's just crazy how the money plays into the momentum of the game. I want to point out something as well. Liaz, new player to Renegades. They talked about role shifting. That's an unfortunate situation. Didn't find the kill. And now they're going to swarm. They know he's pursuing a low HP player. This is incredible. Falling apart. James, I'll come back to my thought. As Gratisfaction, they got very bloodlust upon 1 kill that didn't work in their favor.
This is the sort of play you don't want to see when you're up against the Pistols. Well, to confirm their P250s, you just need to hold the crossfires. You know you're on the breaking point financially here. So 5 versus 2, still technically recoverable here. We did say JKS incredibly good in these situations, but someone has to step up here. Liaz has provided a decent amount of frags so far, but he's got to find a few more here to stand any sort of chance. 35 seconds, and Avangar taking their time. They're waiting for a sound cue, any sort of clue that will lead into the first CT and where they can get that bomb down. Kicker has just got a P250 here. He's got to run inside and confirm at least 1 player inside, and then they can make the next move off that.
He has falling back, trying to play distance. Only 1 gun grabbed from those kills as JKS is able to find one. And you're right, that is the key. Liaz has bomb. That's the big change in him, though, because he's dropped a second, 13 seconds. Krisen has time to get to the E-box, back on the ball, but they know he's going to be in that exact transition, and a brilliant nade from JKS forces Buster's hand. He's got to go for the play. No time to commit to the plant. JKS wins it with a nade.
That's so sick, Matt. We said they had potential to do so. 5 versus 2 there. It all came down to the timer as well. It looked like Renegades had thrown that round away, but there it is. That 1 HE grenade really did completely turn the round on his head. The fact that he denied the plant, it gave away the position, the remaining T, and then JKS to play accordingly. You could see the remaining terrorist of Avangar there. Go for the fake plant, go for the frag. Didn't work out. JKS too aware, and Liaz, he certainly performed in that situation. Got the damage done. Enough for that nade to find the kill.
And I want to go back to my point on him. They talked about role shifting, and you've got a guy like JKS who's so prominent. You don't want to move him out on the behalf of Liaz. Fantastic damage in what is a very fast round from Avangar. Uncharacteristically, they're already at the site. Azzo's read it well. He swings around from E-box, catches out the bomb, clears out Sandwich, and now he'll work back out toward the hell side, toward the alleyway at A main. Smoke down as well. Keegert's forced back. He was 7-1, Liaz. Or 7-0, excuse me. Hadn't died. And yet was back to a pistol. He selflessly picked up the AWP and was willing to give that away and play without money himself despite not dying. So he's definitely willing to be a team player so far.
Absolutely. Well, it all comes down to this moment, though.
Glad I got that point out. It only took 3 rounds.
We got that. Kicker does have the AK. We know he's incredibly handy with the weapon. James, though, only with a Glock. He has got a helmet. So we'll see what can be done. He's got the smoke, the Molotov. He needs to set up an alley-oop here to see if his teammate can get them back in this one. It's not looking like right now. That should confirm things. Like we said, James is left with a Glock here. Helmet on his head, but waiting for a massive mistake to be made here. But the flank coming through. You can see that should confirm the round. He does get a kill, but down to 11 HP. No chance he survives as Renegades will take the lead even further now. 5-2, and that should be money completely broken. It's at about $2,000 per player, so no buy coming in here, but the loss bonus starting to accumulate at this stage. They'll probably take PG-50s here, try and get a bomb plant down, and have a full buy going into the next one. But to say Azza played that very well be an understatement. He managed to get those 2 kills, smoke off the opposition, and make sure his teammates could rotate in and deny a very important plant for them.
5-2 for Renegades, but a much closer game than that score suggests. Still early, so it's not like that's insurmountable as well for avangar. But they will have to sit back to pistols in this particular round. Nearly 1-1. With pistols and a single op carried over just 2 rounds ago.
5-on-2 in their favor as well.
That nade was very clever from JKS because knew the bomb was down. Good communication that it was at E-box. And with 11 seconds, he's got to run to the bomb and get back to the train. He's only going one way. So it was well placed, well timed, well thought out. And it forced the hand of Buster, as we mentioned, who now, speaking of hands, has a deagle in his because he'll try and find the opener toward B.
All they can really hope for here is the bomb being planted. It's incredibly difficult to do so and trying your best to head towards inside. They have 1 flash to do it, so I would assume 5 players get ready at this area. The brown holes flash through the window and try and get the bomb down, but we'll see which approach they opt for here. Under a minute. You can just try and bait out CT utility as well. It does cost cash. Every grenade they throw, you are at least siphoning something out of it as Gratisfaction will open things up. Nice shot, the AUG. Like we said, you're going to see that weapon a lot here as JKM continues to frag. That's inside towards Buster. So, flashbang still available, but the bomb being planted at this point, very, very unlikely.
Gratisfaction finds Chris off camera. Wow, this is the important approach because you can get around the corner and get some kills. Will do damage to the money. Speaking of kills and seeing Fitch on the right side of the kill feed has been a common theme. He sits at 0-8. Way back on Tengri, on to Gambit, former major winners. He replaced Zeus, and now he finds himself here on avangar. All that experience isn't working out for him so far in 8 rounds. He's gone down in all of them and yet to find a kill.
Well, here comes the full buy we are looking for. Jame on the AWP. Gratisfaction staying on the AUG for now. That's absolutely fine. You don't need the AWP, but Train certainly lends itself towards that playstyle. UMP still in the hands of Liaz, trying to keep the money as strong as possible. If you play correctly, can be a very viable weapon. Lots of nooks and crannies to stick yourself in, and especially towards areas like the pop dog or lower ramp, you can make that weapon do a lot of damage. As I think we had the first tactical timeout. This was called by avangar. We'll see if this will yield any sort of success. They've tried some fast approaches. They've tried some very slow methodical defaults. We haven't seen a technical execution yet. Maybe that's next on the menu. We'll find out in round number 9 here as Renegades quite healthy at this point. 6-2. They've got a buy in the bag as well. That's why they're keeping the UMP. They want to keep that money as strong as possible. This does look like an execution to me, but it will be a slow one as the bomb's still in T-spawn, and they want to get control of Pop Dog first. So maybe going to be setting up a play to grant them access to this area.
So Azza holds bottom Pop Dog. First time we've really seen a sort of cat and mouse game, dog and cat game with Pop Dog.
Sure.
Either or. First time we've really seen this position subside into something because it's been sort of executions, late timings, rifles not really in both teams' hands as of yet. So now we're getting more to the default to what we would expect. Jame does play with Fallen's signature on his scope, so maybe an idol of his. Might get a chance to beat him if they can make it through this stage, and he's got Leaz with an incredibly good approach, considering how fast that quick scope was, and he was still almost moving at the time.
Well, at this point, Krisen making a little bit of a gambit towards the upper right. We see 3 players there as well. They know JKS anchors this alone. JKS with multiple frags, so the round could swing, but he gets nothing. I would say that's a safe call already, but the bomb not there, and Jame looking for flanks here. He might be taken out by Azza, but that's a nice, easy kill for him. That confirms the round victory. Great work by avangar there. They get that pick outside, or towards Ivy, I should say, and then knowing that pick's happened, man, of course, JKS is going to have solo presence towards the side. He's not going to have backup there. They have to rotate because of that single pick that came. They go towards the upper ramp, and that's where you can really abuse the fact that the inside player, he can't dump all his utility on you. He has to focus mainly on the lower ramp. They just walk in a contact play towards upper, find that kill, not even requiring a trade, and then there it is. Jame watching the flank as well, takes down Azza, and it's going to be 5 players surviving by the looks of things, and Gratisfaction and Jacob to hold on to their rifles. They're not together, though. Like we said, they have got a buy in the bag, so they've got rifles next round, whatever happens, but ideally you want to save at least 1. You can see Azza there with 2K. 1,400 next round. Gratisfaction should confirm things in terms of the save potential. Holds onto his AUG for now, but now makes his way towards Dumpster and Jacob and T-Sports. They can at least play off each other at this point.
So bomb goes off. Still don't get any indication of which team wants to try and run with the half. But guns to be brought out yet again. Renegades side, James, there you go. Look at how little he saw. I love the replays with that X-ray. I still maintain that that's a brilliant way of displaying how fast some of these shots are, especially when you see it in slow motion. You can barely see any texture difference. And these guys are keen-eyed.
Like we said, without saving those two weapons, they could have been a bit of hot water there, but Renegades do have the AWP once again. A decent amount of utility, not everything, as Ilias lacking some bits and pieces here or there, and this is a very default setup from avangar. You can see two players at Ivy, one on Pop Dog and main entrance, and then, of course, the inside area that's waiting for initial aggression with the CT to be a run boost. Here, Jamie in position, can just go for the straight pick like he has. That's a great shot there, and he's the Gratisfaction. It's so difficult to try and react to that. A lot of teams run boost across just to negate the AWP. He just wants a straight up challenge. That's kind of Guardian-esque sort of play.
Gather the bomb. Minute and 13 to play with. Lots still to go. Tons of utility as well. 5 smokes, 1 Molotov, 7 flashes. Everyone can carry 2, remember. 4 nades total for those that are new, and 1 HE grenade on their side. So Azza going to try and play closer proximity. They don't have a whole lot of defensive utility left, just 2 smokes and 1 incendiary, so they really have to be aggressive on their stance and their positioning.
This is what we call a gamble stack now, so they know this round is a bit out of their reach, so they're going to take a gamble and put 3 players inside. If they come towards the inner area, they challenge, they fight tooth and nail, they'll do whatever they can to actually win this round. If they go outer, as you can see, it's just purely out, and he goes down, that's a round save already. You're not even going to go for this one, you're not even going to attempt the retake, to hold on to what you have. Unfortunately, it's the AWP that goes down, but not really much you can do against that. It's not like Gratisfaction made a mistake. That run boost was just very well executed by avangar to get the opening kill, and James is very, very fast player.
And again, I said forward stance aggressively. The gamble stack was actually for the same reasons. They didn't have that utility to really play off of, to play a default and cut off avangar, so Renegades will concede 1 more. We go back to a 2-round game. Don't forget as well, you tweeted it out actually, the HLTV live feature allowing you to switch between 2 games, but there is 2 games going on at a time. Vici playing Fnatic right now.
That should be a good one as well. A lot of teams are not really sure what the level Vici will be bringing here. We know they're dangerous. You know, the Asian teams can cause upsets and have a very strange play style, and I'm sure we can get some updates as we continue here. This is about what we expected. They're the Renegades on the CT side. They've got a lead right now, but avangar certainly capable of clawing this one back, and it's all down to these opening picks of Jame right now. He's not finding multiple kills per round. He's got 10 in total, but he's actually just finding great picks. The fact he takes on Gratisfaction has been a real thorn in their side, just to open things up. This is so fast. You can see Gratisfaction even fires the shot, but it's so difficult to land that one. And Prison comes in to punish as well. As soon as the opening kill comes in, he makes sure he capitalizes on the fact they're scrambling, trying to reassess the situation. And now, is this going to be the buy, the full investment from Renegades? Apparently not. They're going to be happy with the 3 rifles they have. I'd expect maybe a couple of PD-50 drops. JKS can certainly do that, just to give these USB players something. As now James is trying to suss out the situation. Did they take the eco here? Have they force ball? What have they got? You do not want to do anything too fast here. Try and get some information, allow that AWP to do its work. And it should be at a huge advantage here for avangar, but we will see. The 3 rifles capable, and certainly with these sort of plays, as Jake will get boosted on the server here. Just to note, Fitch, one of the more household names, 0 and 10 with ADR 3.
So, ADR 3. Yeah. I didn't catch that particular stat. That makes it even worse. 3 damage on average around. He is having a nightmare.
Yeah.
At 0 and 8, I thought it would be fine. We've seen people go 0 and 7 before, but again, very little damage applied there. 44 damage to Jacob.
It's really not going well. 0-11.
Not what we expect from him.
No, definitely not. But remember, avangar, 4 rounds on the T side, even if that's all they got, it's enough to win the game right now. If you're aiming for like 6 or 7 on the T side in this sort of matchup, I think they're quite equally matched. These 2 teams, I think they were both seeded, what, 8th and 9th after the team's rounding up their ideas as Crizzen tries to fight back here. It's actually looking quite promising for avangar after losing the initial kill. 4 versus 4. Satisfaction still up, not for long though. JKS has to go huge here with the AK-47. That's his 3rd kill of the round. JKS with that AUG showing us what it's capable of. And now the 2 versus 1 begins. James realizes the AUG probably not the best weapon for this situation. Does have the bomb on his back, and he'll start to book it towards the inside bombs, and that's the right call. There's no point being methodical here, Matt. You might as well just jump out, hope for the best, and you're going to get away with this one. As you can see, Az is rotating in. He's come out towards upper. He doesn't get spotted, so let's get the bomb out of this. So Az, though, will potentially hear this. He doesn't, but 5 seconds left. There's no way Jane does anything more than plant here. Az should be able to trade this out. As soon as the bomb goes down, he doesn't go for it straight away. If he misses this shot, it could be a nightmare, but calm, make sure he hits it, and that's no problem at all. The reason we're worried there is Az wasn't with his teammate at that point, and Jacob was left on 7 HP. He could have waited a bit longer and just made sure there was 2 potentials there, but overall...
He was kind of like right in between the 2 options, really, because I thought for new viewers, of which there's going to be many throughout the course of the major, so we'll touch on that. You have to be planning at 4 seconds.
Yep.
It was 5 seconds, he was committed. You're pretty much guaranteed in a 1v2 he's going to try and get the bomb down because he at least wants the money. Az could have peeked as that was happening, sped it up a little bit. Even if he dies in that situation and he's not planning, they win it on time.
Yeah.
He waited and then still went alone. It was like right in between the 2 options.
That was actually, yeah, if you're looking at the Counter-Strike guide, that's probably the wrong way to play it, but overall he wins it, he gets the shot. That's absolutely fine, can't argue with that. And that's not even a force weapon, Renegades. Remember, 2 full eco players there, and they took it in, matters into their own hands. They push towards Ivy. They know they can get something done. That's been a main point of access for avangar, as Jacob gets 3 kills in total with the AK, allows them to win out in that 2 versus 1. And now, with the buys coming in, do we have a healthy purchase here for avangar? We do got the orb there for James as well, with a bit of residual cash as we get into it. Round 12, 7-4 in favor of Renegades. Still anyone's game, as both teams now fully equipped, feeling healthy. Not a single M4 to be seen. Orgs across the board with the AWP backing them up, and inside play coming through. This time, Gratisfaction does get the better of Jane. That AWP is incredibly mobile on the CT side. You can move it so many different positions at the start, as Jake follows things up with a double AG. Was that from the Pop Dog areas? Azza joins in as well with a bit of damage, so he might have thrown the nade through the window and caught him completely there as they go for the total drop here, and really not going to work out for them. Azza, he seems to play that position a lot. He's very capable there. He's got great aim, and it's pure deathmatch in that tiny little room, as he hits every single shot. No real damage taken. All good.
He's going to push that ladder as well. He's taken advantage of the fact that they've gone underneath and smartly... Oh, is he going to go back down the stairs? I thought he was actually going to figure out Fitch's movement pattern and actually catch him from behind. Got away from it showers and then thought he was going to rotate back over toward Marker's side, but didn't get it. That allows an opening toward ladder. They've now called that that's open. He may get the AWP Fitch, but there's nowhere to go, and he's going down because Azza has already occupied all of this space, well aware of the situation, or is he? This is an interesting... Is Fitch finally... Oh, yes, he is. Going to get on the board. It may be inconsequential to the round, but listen, he breaks the goose egg. He gets 1.
I was about to say, let's just hope he can get a kill here and just get his head in the major, because that will be something. If he saves the AWP as well, that's great, but Renegades, they are going to be aware of the prospect. They can kill him after that 25 seconds at the top of your screen expires. He gets no money for the next round, so they're not going to hunt him just yet. They want to be very patient. Jacob's setting up this play right now. He's like the Predator, coming in, just sniffing out, working out where he could possibly be, and about 5 seconds, when it hits there, you'll see all the CT start to push towards the inside. They want to kill him just as the timer expires. You can see it happening right now. It's all coming together. JKS will actually wait until it gets to the 2-second mark, then probably swing out. Here it comes.
Swing after. Take the money. Oh, good shot from Fitch. He's still got the skill. He may not have gotten many kills, but those 2 are pretty flashy. But yes, you're right. Exactly. Take the op down. A player that's already struggling in this game. Give him no money in the next rounds. Would have been a brilliant situation. Now they get an op. Still don't have a lot of money across the team, though, do they?
Absolutely not. Here's Azza getting it done. 2 players jump down on his screen. It can be a little bit awkward. That drop, it was in fashion for a while, but I haven't seen it yield massive results in terms of actually trading out a kill. It seems like it either goes very, very well indeed, and you find no one there, and you get 2 players set up, or both you get mowed down. You just say, well, it didn't really work out. I prefer the Molotov flashbang approach with a single player, to be honest, and make it uncomfortable for the CTs instead of giving them 2 targets. But there you go. Gratisfaction, like we said, moving position every round. This battle continues, and James will come out on top this time. It was towards lower ramp the first kill was found before. This time at upper, as JKS knows he has to negate the AWP. We'll drop a smoke and try and get in position.
As is going to work his way up the ladder. Shot easily available for Kikert, who's waiting the whole time. He's got confident, I think, in that position after last round.
Just to note as well, in this pre-game, ourselves and the analysts said it's all about the orbs. Faction step up, and so far, the opening picks have come through either of those two players pretty much every single round so far and swaying the outcome.
As again, finding damage. He's gone quiet as of late because they haven't been pushing onto Ivy quite so much. In fact, he's gone from 9-1 to 9-7 as he'll fall yet again. Fitch, he's moving now. He's got JKS up to 3 kills, and the bomb goes down as a result of that. As Jacob finds himself in a 1-on-4. Money enough on him. 5,500, 48 for Gratisfaction. So he's already got an op in hand. And as is at 35, they can pursue this. They can make this awkward. Every kill he gets matters. We often say that in these situations, and it's true again here.
Absolutely. Every kill in Counter-Strike has a knock-on effect that might not even affect the next round, but going forward could sabotage and cause a reset. As Jacob holds towards CT spawn here. He's got a smoke and a flashbang to save as well, and the defuse kit. 5k in his bank account as well, so he can drop the AWP. Gratisfaction could buy himself, but it's normally better to keep his money as strong as possible. But there it is, the 5th round on the board for avangar. After a rough start, it was obviously Renegades picked up the pistol, looked incredibly strong there, but fighting back with some decent rounds here. Nothing too special in terms of the tactical approach. Like I said, we haven't seen anything massively technical here. It's all been down to these all battles at the very start and working out who comes out on top. They're quite equally matched in terms of skill. It's Jamie who's had the majority of the kills, but Gratisfaction's had his moments as well. Kikert there waiting for the reaction play from Hazard towards the pop dog room. Obviously nails that. That's a hell of a shot from Buster. A player we potentially don't talk about enough. I'd have him in a number 3 in terms of excitement. You got Jamie at the top, Kikert second, then Buster could definitely cause some damage. As you'll see the force buy come through of sorts. The Renegades, you do have enough to get a full buy here, but you see compromises. There's a UMP out as they go for the double AWP, and it's JKS, a player who's certainly capable of using the weapon, holding inside now, feeling like maybe he's a little bit too vulnerable with just a rifle, wants to push him back a bit more with AWP presence.
UMP still waiting inside at Ivy as well. Nade down. Takes, I guess, a small amount of damage from that 19.
Chip damage, Jason calls it.
Chip damage?
Yeah.
Is that what he calls his diet?
Potentially. He's on the other stream. He can't hear. You can say what it is.
Nah, it's true. I can say no one's going to tell him. Don't worry.
1 minute remaining and an inside execution potentially. They had a lot of success at Pop Dog, but all 5 players make it 4 as James has the AWP towards outside right now. They potentially don't want to commit to this unless they have the AWP there, because the idea is you want the players to take the attention away from the AWP, allow him to establish himself at that lower ramp and trade off him. Renegades certainly ready for this. Like we said, JKS with the sniper at the back, Jacob with the rifle at the front. Smoke's coming in. It has to be an inside play now. They have no time to fall back, and they will commit. Jacob there, hopefully going to get 2 frags out of this, but Kikert takes him down. JKS struggling. If you miss one shot of the AWP, you're pretty much done for in that sort of scenario, and that's a guaranteed round. No chance of going for it. Can't even think about a retake at this point. Kikert finds 2 kills, and indeed finds the round. It's going to be Gratisfaction to save his AWP. Wrong place this time, unfortunately. It has been dynamic. We see him inside, connector, Ivy, main entrance, and it's a bit of a guessing game to work out where they head towards at the very start. No opening picks, but it was Kikert who got the damage done, and Jacob was ready for it. The lower play was all set up, but he got flashed, taken down, and then JKS missing the shot, and the round was completely done. So, will they save anything from this? I doubted Gratisfaction might be traded out here. We'll see. They now know exactly where he is, and the AWP can actually challenge.
Good find, certainly. Preserve the AWP for Gratisfaction at the very least. It does reveal where he is, but Azza will take away some aggro. If anyone wanting to try and push down Ivy, they don't need to be him as well. They can actually come out of the round with more players surviving than their opposition, despite not picking up the win. 2 timeouts remaining, just to note.
And it's the final round, so it's not like avangar made a huge blunder, getting a couple of kills at the end there, just to know that.
Absolutely, I just want to point out the timeouts for avangar, because this is something we touched on in London at the showcase event, the GG Bet.
Yes.
They used every timeout in every game, regardless of the outcome.
Yep.
And it was pretty spread out, but methodically used. I thought it was a good decision by them to sit and talk things through, and even in situations where they were winning before focusing on the economy.
There it is, opening picks once again, but a trade comes through. Just to know, avangar are one of the youngest teams here. I think the average age is like 22. So yes, they probably need the timeouts just to kind of get their heads sorted, get some input from the coach and calm everyone down a little bit. It can be quite daunting here at the major, of course. But a 4-4 ensues as Azza down to 15 HP, but he was the one that got the trade in return towards Crizzen. And maybe another inside play here. They got the Brown Horse control. They know that JKS has been up and down in this area, and this round in particular, he only has the CZ75. Not really the weapon you want when you're defending for angry terrorists making their way towards a very valuable part of the map. He has an incendiary that's now gone. That hasn't really bought him much, to be honest. That's 7 seconds where they won't go towards inside, but they weren't even ready themselves. Maybe the smoke towards the back baited him out slightly as we get to the 50-second mark. Another gamble stack required potentially here, as it doesn't look like avangar want to head towards inside. The bomb's still there around that T-spawn position. Jane with the orb, not going to jump down surely with just the AWP. But there is a low HP Azza, who has played that position like 6 rounds now. Surely they can best him with this drop.
They've done this drop before, though. When he hit double headshot, they absolutely win it out. And the addition of the flashbang was a slight change, because finding both, even if he gets the lineup on the first one, finding both with his vision lost, you're pretty much guaranteed the trade. So they did adapt, and I like that.
That was a cool little move, actually. They actually hit the floor before the flash goes off. It just makes things uncomfortable. Speaking of which, that CZ75 actually dividends here. The knife has to come through, and now Jane left in the 2 versus 1, but no time. I think JKS did enough here. He hasn't even got enough time to plant at this point. He has to kill both of them. Not going to happen, and a really exciting round to close things out there. It is going to be 9-6 to Renegades, but we had some fantastic moments there, and it is the CZ, up close and personal, and that's the best time to use it. Successfully towards that connector, they'll continue, and they'll push forward outside. If they don't, if they lose that frag, they probably plant inner and have the option either way. But there's Jacob getting 4 kills on the pistol. Fantastic work. Really enjoyed that strategy. That's quite new. That's exciting, and a really nice, cool mid.
And full credit to Jacob as well. Sure, 4 kills, but the first one ultimately the most important, because for that strategy to work, as you say, they were hoping to catch them off. They did, but not quite unaware. Fitch had the gun out. He was ready to take the shot, found the first kill, but he got the trade immediately, and no one else was in position after that.
Really well done from Renegade. That's going to find double digits, and AKs in the second round. Just HEs here for avangar as they try and find a kill towards main entrance. Azza needs to be more aware of that sort of setup. We see that a lot from the CTs. They get the opening kill here, but the AK will be picked up by the T side, so no gun found. I don't think they'll find much more than that opening kill, but still a nice idea with the HEs. It's always good to find a frag like that. Jacob continues his dominance as he gets a headshot there towards Buster. This is where JKS can get a play. Probably finds a few kills with his Mac 10, and indeed gets the double. So an opening frag, but nothing to really write home about, because they are locked out of the round now. Bomb move planted as they confirm the choke points are concealed by smoke and flames. That's towards connector. And Jaime and Kaka just looking for exit kills at this point. They got $300 for that kill, the HE, but they spent $300 purchasing that itself. So not really that influential. They managed to recover the AK. They give nothing away. Guaranteed round out for Renegades, but the rifles will come out on the next round. And whether they get the orb is yet to be seen. Fitch would have to find another kill at this point, or drop the weapon. We'll see what happens, and leave himself with nothing. I'm not sure that's a call he'll make, but
I see a number of journalists and photographers readying their cameras to presumably walk over toward Vici. Capture that moment, because what a interesting event to start off the major with Vici potentially upsetting. I say potentially, it is 15-9, but it's not done yet. Potentially upsetting Fnatic right out of the gate. What a way to start things off. This one also favoring the team that not quite the same upset in regards to the odds or sort of talent involved in the server. We said in sort of the seedings, these are close, 8 and 9 we're playing each other, but certainly all the predictions went to avangar. It's 11-6 in favor of Renegades, so it's gonna have it all this major.
It's what the Swiss format always brings it, doesn't it? These upsets, you feel like that's a lock-in. We're not going to see it this time, but the first game of the day, and I think that's confirmed with the screams we just heard. Vici, I think, have just taken the first victory of the tournament.
Just to note as well, it's no longer, yes, the Swiss system turns these up in these upsets. It's no longer random who you play. It's a seeded Swiss system in every stage of the event, which is very cool, and I've seen the system that does it. It's pretty spectacular. It's going to be very, very close. It should breed the best competition. Fitch, he's getting competitive. Finally, having some early competition. in rounds. I think one kill on the pistol we pointed out, but he finds 2 in this round with the AUG to slow down the take on the outer sight. Bomb drop as well, as it is going to be Buster to find the kill.
Just to know, that's fit to our armor as well. He did drop that AWP for his teammate, leaving himself with absolutely nothing but a rifle to be dropped. That means he has no armor, no grenades, has to just go bareback essentially and see what can be done. But that's a very successful round there. But I'm not surprised. Those sort of rounds are always a little bit crafty. You know that there's some residual SMGs on the T side. They're going to try something fast-paced. They're going to try throw a spanner in the works here. But Mitch, like you said, actually contributing finally. It's been such a slow game for him. Sits on 6 and 14 right now with an ADR of 40. Not ideal by his standards, but that's a big, big round for them to pick up. And Gratisfaction now down to just a Desert Eagle, but he does have firepower around him. He has Jacob and JKS, the players who want the rifles, have them in hand, and there's an example of it. JKS stops the inside push, but James pushing back straight away. He'll actually be towards that upper ramp and find the 4-on-4. It's 11-7 right now, and this round is very important. Renegades pick this one up, they reset the CTs and send them into a very uncomfortable position, but work has to be done. They still have 4 smokes as Crizant plays heads-up counter-strike here, makes his way towards Pop Dog.
4-on-4. Even strength. Pretty much in every aspect as well. Both teams low on utility. 2 smokes versus 3. No flames versus 1 Molotov. James going to push out A main as well with the AWP. He's absolutely willing to take these fights. A rather comical language barrier in the interview with Frankie at the start, but the manager obviously of avangar touched on the fact that James was on the bench for a while, was the AWPer and in-game leader. They sort of relieved him of the in-game leading position. That allowed him to free up and get more aggressive with the AWP, focus on his game, and it certainly paid off. It certainly worked. As he'll hold the angle at A main. Hasn't makes noise, jumping down the position he formerly defended on the other half. Pop Dog. Not uncommon to see that, by the way. Somebody holds like a very tight choke point, they usually play the counterpoint on the other side because they understand how to defend it, so therefore they should know how to attack it.
Well, they know all the tricks on one side and they can exploit them on the other. I guess that's the whole philosophy. Oh, gets the kill there after that mistake. It would be everything, but timing actually gives it away. 5 seconds, the bomb's actually going to go down. If he hits that kill, it was over. Oh, might actually move around now. It's actually happening. It was done. There was 7 seconds remaining. He pulls his knife out for a second. We were talking over it. It didn't seem like anything was going to happen.
And fair enough, he doesn't think anyone's coming. They walked close enough that he wouldn't have heard the footstep until the last minute. You could see him almost do a double take. But with 5 seconds, why are you not just hold it? If they go inside, you're already late to the party.
Wow.
That's remarkably unfortunate for James. And that opens up an incredible turn of events for Renegades. Opening the round, they're 12th, and resets the money for avangar in the second half when they've got the lead.
That's absolutely massive. Renegades, we said coming to this one, just had a 3-week boot camp. We've been impressed. Some of the strategies are deployed, especially that T-side pistol, fantastic stuff. It looks like Buster's going to be dropped as well. That leaves them with nothing. As you can see now, or I can explain to you, they've got around 2.5 grand on average. A couple of anomalies there. We've got Buster with 4,500. At this stage, though, my goodness, you're 12-7 down. You take a full eco here, that's guaranteed to be 13-7. They're going to take the timeout, so we'll talk through all the options. Your force buy, though, that could also mean GG because it's unlikely you win the round. That could just send you into disarray and, oh my goodness, the tilt factor as well at this point. James knows he had that one. If he hits that first shot, he can slow them down for another few seconds. That bomb's not even being planted. He had the position. Arguably didn't even have to be there. Could have just held back with the AWP and held the bomb side, but it's going to get inside his head. And as you can see, they're taking the more conservative approach and almost gifting around now to the Renegades. They're just going to have a CZ, a P250, and not much else. So Renegades in touching distance are closing this one out. But remember, I've casted so many Renegades games. It looks like they're about to win. They've got full control. One disastrous clutch comes through and the game can crumble in their hands. It's happened so many times to them before. We'll see if they can hold on to this one.
Well, it's 4 to go, if you want to look at the positive side of it. 5 rounds in the lead. Gratisfaction already holding the angle as well, and with pistols, they probably won't challenge that. They'll play it up close, but taking the peak, that's a whole other story. Bit of a stack toward B as well, with 3 players directly up close to the bomb site. 4th player, in fact, Crizant, going to rotate back through. Join his teammates on that side of the map because they've heard a little bit from the utility, so why not? If you've already got 3 there, you got a little bit of information. Let's see what else you can get. Default smokes down B, but they don't have the information yet as to these crossfires, and with a switch out, gun not ready as it recovers. Jacob that nearly got caught for it. JKS finds two, but Buster's up close. Oh my goodness, another headshot. Azza, he was low. Would have made things interesting because he may have recovered the weapon. Don't know they had the HP to take the other two fights, but it could have made it awkward.
Fortunately, pretty much full eco there for avangar, so they had Deagle armor. That could have been a little bit more troublesome for them running into the stack, but it doesn't really matter against the full eco. It is going to be 13-7, running out of lifelines here for avangar. They are going to have the AWP though in the hands of James. Whether his confidence is still there after that nightmare situation is yet to be seen. It can get in your head and be on your mind for a few rounds, to say that, as they will have rifles as well, 4 of those, but lacking utility right now. Everyone fully invested, and I can read out exactly what they have. 1 HE, 3 flashbangs, 1 incendiary, and 2 smokes. That utility level is low. That's the ESL system. We've got the new system here where we kind of track what grenades they have and allow us to kind of give you an idea as to what's good, what's bad. And right now, it's not looking very good in that department whatsoever. Train is all about holding the choke points off, denying access and segregating terrorists with incendiaries and stopping them having full away from the bomb site here. You can see anything but as let's go to town there as we get into the final few rounds potentially. Number 21 here. Do or die time for avangar. No kits. Very little utility, and James needs to step up. And where will he be heading? Actually towards that main entrance once again, looking for the first frag.
Molotov already covers off the corner. They'll leave the bomb for a moment, so that's obviously indicative of the fact that they want to try and find the picks. Play it to time. About 10 seconds before they grabbed that bomb and put some utility inside B, which hasn't yielded any rotations yet. Crizzen clearing A main. They've already seen flames down at the bottom of the ramp. Now you're definitely going to see the rotation, and that is exactly what's happening. James brings the AWP over, but if he thought he was clear to get inside of the site, you got to remember his teammate Kickard, he wasn't actually peeking that, and therefore Gratisfaction had the angle. This is a very clever position, though. They're never going to expect this. He's not sure where to shoot. He finds one, looks straight down. Bomb drop, brilliantly played, but eventually he has to go down as he's completely surrounded. Molotovs from Azza will hold rotations, but not quite. They get through. Fitch is spotted. Low on 7. Bomb finally will go down, and Renegades looking to find that 14th round.
Azza knows he's done damage at this point as well, trying to take advantage of this situation. He takes another player down to 19 points of health. Still winnable here for Renegades, but it is a 3-on-2. Not for long, though. Gratisfaction hitting every single shot so far as he drops the smoke as well, buys himself some time to reposition.
Good shot for Gratisfaction. Definitely spotted out toward Tanker. AWP only for Buster. I think he's going to back off of this. Such a... I love that position from Kicker to play that, to wait, to shoot straight down. It would take them a minute to even figure out. They'd be so disoriented where that was coming from. But it doesn't really work out in the end because it primarily lost the opening pick and then just couldn't recover on rotation.
They have to buy next round. You can't allow this to go to match point at this stage. You're too far gone. You've got an AWP. You got to force around it, see what can be done. Buster does survive with the weapon. They've only got about 3K per player. Otherwise, so all be thrown to James. I assume they fully invest into this with what they can. There'll be MP9s, etc. We'll see if that comes through. Here's a replay of Mr. Gratisfaction himself. It's been such a great battle. I'm glad it lived up to expectations between himself and James. I wasn't sure if Grat could actually play on that level, but he has proved me wrong. He has looked excellent here, and that boot camp has done very well for them, it seems, as we do get the force buy now from avangar. Von Orp, of course, from the previous round, an M4. The only rifle available to them, and then an MP9 and a couple of pistols. Really not an ideal situation. Timeout called. And what's the play? Will they go for a push here? You could send 3 towards inside, or Ivy. Send the AWP into main entrance again. Renegades know they've got them on the ropes here. They don't have to do anything too technical. They could hold back in a really slow default, or go for the knockout blow and go for an inside execution off the bat and just try and close things out. We'll see what they go for.
Again, the timeout's used. Down to 2 remaining for Renegades, 1 only for avangar. 2 rounds potentially left in this. Has a quick flash to the yard, but he'll rotate back down toward Ivy instead. AWP already checking as well to the corner just to be sure no one's getting aggressive. Gratisfaction looking for his 20th kill. 21 rounds played so far. That's pretty good for an AWP. This time, a bit more of an aggressive stance on B in terms of position from avangar. They've got 3 on that side. Make it a 4th, in fact. They're going to rotate over again. Deagle only for Kicker this time. And he's going to play another angle to try and catch them off behind the spools. They are right in anticipating the arrival of Renegades on B.
4 players waiting for them. They haven't got the weaponry to really bout to the same level, but they have got the positioning. 3 kills come in, and like we said, Renegades do struggle to close these games out. James sticks the barrel down JKS's throat, and Gratisfaction left on just 33 HP. It looks like they've done enough to stay alive at least, and they'll get 3 players up. The rifles are there. This game isn't over until it gets to 16, and Avangar can start their campaign properly now in the second
James
half.
was unlucky somehow not to get the collateral on that. He actually did the damage to Gratisfaction. He hit both with that shot up close in the smoke, and didn't put him down, but it did enough. They'll get one more out of this. Again, we've seen it twice now where they rotate over that 4th player, and they've been right to assume that Renegades is going on to B. That might be something that's becoming a little too predictable, so time to change it up, perhaps. Fitch has turned things around. 42 ADR after being at, like, what was it, 5 after 10 rounds?
Yeah.
That's actually, when you remove those first 10 rounds, means he's on pace with everyone else. In fact, he's jumped ahead at this point of Crizzen. Excuse me, of Buster.
There is a full buy here for Renegades, but it's their last one if they lose this round. So if Avangar get to double digits, that's when we can start the conversation and let's come back. But it could all be put to a halt here. Renegades can go for the full reset, get match points, and presumably seal the deal. As they go for more of a default approach here, you can see I think it's 3 players towards Ivy. 1 holding main entrance, and then we've got young JKS just patrolling the brown holes and seeing if any CTs are pushing. You see a defensive angle here from Buster. Smoke will deny some vision. Molotov will push him back even further, but he's not scared. He wants to actually challenge this. Now might find himself in a bit of hot water, but he will fall back. The flashbang there needs a bit of help from his teammates, but that's Renegades just getting Ivy controlled. They're not going to commit off that. They're setting themselves up and taking vision away from the CTs. So far, so good in that respect.
Deep as well. Gives Jacob the confidence to try and push. Pretty standard. Molotov one side, smoke the other. You isolate the position. Don't allow anyone to peek.
Means there's no backup. Any close range players, they can't get help from their teammates. You can focus on those little cubby holes and make sure they're clear, but it does cost them a lot. Outside execution coming now. 30 seconds remain. They'll smoke the left-hand side and focus on these kills. James can't find him, but he does hit the shot.
Caught leg. Has his leg. Back out. He's got to be careful. Tight position to play. They're already wrapping him behind. He was aware of it. Went to the pistol, but couldn't catch out the quad player. It's kickered all against 3. No HP though. He's dropped bomb. He's dropped Gratisfaction. He's got a chance on this. He needs to be aware, however. Azza was behind him, and he did not get the noise cue. Certainly didn't get the information, and it's map point for Renegades.
Absolutely is. Remember, best of 1 Swiss format here. It is incredibly scary. Even just trying to close these games out. So much on the line at 0-1 is a horrible way to kick off the tournament, but Renegades now so close to making this a reality. They struggle to close out games historically, but surely this is the round where it's done. Up against the Scouts, the MP9, the CZ. There are 2 rifles there, but this is where it should come to a halt. Avangar haven't put their best foot forward here. We said we needed all 5 players to turn up. Fitch 0 and 11 in the first half, certainly a significant factor, but they still got 6 rounds on that T side. And Crizzen trying to do everything he can here to potentially enter the last round. Fitch already tagged as he goes down to 32 HP. They've got 2 smokes between the entire team on the CT side, 1 flashbang, and a dream. And this is where Renegades get ultra defensive. He's waiting for mistakes to be made. Gratisfaction needs to be careful. That's what his teammate Lee has behind him, so if any tomfoolery occurs, any pushes come through, they can be safe. Bomb's still down, you won't be seeing a commitment anytime soon. They're trying to get intel. What have they got on this side? Is their presence towards outer? They've gone for an inside stack. Any sort of information is very valuable at this point, and they don't want to rush the procedure.
Grat still holding it off. Smokes back. Fitch on the inside of that will have to suffer the loss of vision and position. Molotov to go his side. 32 HP. He's probably not going to love that situation considering this is map point. And burrow into the corner at the very least. A lot of attention going on to Ivy, playing the extremities, if you will. The far sides of the map, they've gone B tunnels over and over again. Now they're going to play toward Ivy. Moving from the defense is all they require, and they have moved toward the A site. There's 3 set.
Fitch should be done for. That's what that Molotov's designed to do. We talked about it previous. They can focus on that position and deny any sort of backup here. It looks like we might be done. It's a 5 versus 2 now. James already low. They are fighting with what they have, and it looks like there'll be no chance. And the MP9 goes down the end. A valiant attempt there from Avangar to try and keep the dream alive, and it's Renegades showing that the boot camp might have actually yielded some success here. It actually looked very good. The T-side pistol stood out to me the most. Great reaction, fantastic play, and it looked calm.